Welcome back to the channel. So in this video here, I'm going to show how to deal with soldering with a hot workstation ceramic resistors. This can go towards all resistors, but using a hot air workstation can be a little tricky for some people, especially if you're starting off. So I'm going to give you a couple little tips and tricks on what to do to make things a little bit easier for you. Okay, so as you can see here, I have the hot workstation. I do have a small tip nozzle, not the smallest you can get, but it's a fairly small tip nozzle for the hot air workstation. I'm working at 500 degrees on it, so it makes quick work. I'm going to hold the actual resistor right off the bat just to see, because I did warm up the board beforehand, so I was hoping this could be a bit quicker. But of course, it was not. It is a warm day, but not warm enough, and I do need a hot plate. That would make things a bit easier. A lot of people don't have one either, so just hold on to the resistor. Make sure you heat it up. Once you see the actual solder flow a bit, and then as I put the temperature here, you can see it get really shiny. When it gets really shiny, that means it's flowing and be able to take off the resistor that you're replacing. So here you go. Took it off. Give it a little extra heat. Let it dry. As you can see, it goes dull again. That means it hardened up. So what now we're going to do is we're going to add on a little bit of solder. So that's a little tip that I like to use, is just use a little bit of solder. This is a fairly low temperature solder, so it makes quite easy work for putting on these small resistors. Less heat you put to them, the more longevity you're going to get out of them, and guarantee that they're going to work proper. So here's the resistor to put back on. Well, we did have it. So I'm going to hold it, and then you're going to make sure when you're doing it, don't do that. What you're going to try not to do is pinch it too hard to where it's actually going to fall out of the actual tweezers. This is a ceramic resistor, so it's very, very hard and very slippery. So try not to put too much pressure onto it. And what you want to do when actually working with them, as I can show here. So as you can see here, the tweezers are not all the way down. They're going to be up as high as I can put them while holding on firmly to the resistor. And that will make sure when I put contact to the actual board, the actual resistor is going to go all the way to the board. And that way the solder can flow up onto the contact points, which is the metal points from the left and the right, or in this case here, the top and the bottom. And to hold the actual resistor, on highest point ensures that when I put contact to the soft solder or the solidified solder, I can make sure that it's making proper contact to the board. And then once I do that and make sure I know I have proper contact, it's very hard to see sometimes because you're looking down. You want to make sure you have the tweezers up high and then put pressure down and then remove the heat, remove the hot air. And that's what a lot of people don't do. They just heat up the solder, put down the resistor, and then continuously hold the heat there. And that will make the actual resistor fly away from the pressure, even though you can put the fan speed up and down. So what we're going to do now, as you can see, I have it nice and high up. I'm going to put heat to the solder until it solidifies. And then once I know it solidifies, I'm going to put pressure down on the actual resistor so that way the contact points are pushing onto the motherboard. And then remove the heat, and as you can see, it's on there. Now to guarantee it's all the way down, put more heat, but before that, what I'm doing is I'm actually putting a little bit of pressure from the tip of the actual solder tweezers down onto it, giving a little bit more heat, re-solidifying the actual solder, and then removing the heat and then removing the tweezers, as you can see there. Now that makes sure that the actual resistor is not going to fly away. Now I'm just going to clean up this work area here. So wherever I work, that you can see, guarantees that it's properly connected as well. It's already had plenty of time to cool. There is a fan moving, so there's a lot of air to make sure it stays nice and cool. Another thing you can do is use your hot air workstation and just put it on air mode. And that way it cools down quicker and you can cool down the work area as well. But that's all you got to do when you want to work on ceramic resistors or any kind of resistors in that matter, any SMTs or surface mounted devices, SMDs. And well, as you can see here, perfect. It's soldered, nice soldered on, very clean job. That's what you need to learn, is to make sure that you're holding the actual component high enough up so that way when you're putting contact down of the actual component to the motherboard or PCB in that matter, that it's actually going to contact the motherboard itself, so that way the solder can work its way onto the actual metal components or the soldered ends, so that way it's held down to the motherboard. And if you have any other soldering tips that you would like me to do, just let me know in the comment section below. I'll try to do whatever you're looking for. But that's it for this video. Hopefully this helps out for when you're just beginning soldering for hot air. It can be a little tricky for some people, especially making sure you're not melting some components. And I can show you certain things that you can do and or make to make sure that you're not going to melt or burn out any other components on the actual work area. But that's it for this video. Again, thanks for watching. Again, thank you to all my viewers, subscribers, and donators. You guys are helping out this channel more than you know. And as always, don't forget to get her done.